Maxine. Maxine reviews are out right now. People have seen it. They gave their social reactions, and now they've given their review. So let's take a look at some of these reviews. Before I go into this, I will say I don't think X and Pearl are masterpieces. I really don't. I think they are very solid little horror films that did modestly well with their budgets. At only $1 million to $3 million budgets, it doesn't take a whole lot to make your budget back here. So, looking at the reviews for Maxine, it has a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes right now. So, we will take a look at some of these quick little things here. Emma Wolf from Spooky Astronaut says, I really enjoyed it. It wasn't just horror as I hoped. A 7 out of 10. With Gregory, it says, where Maxine Pops is in the world Ti West has meticulously fashioned on screen. Tessa from Mama's Geeky says, perfectly rounds out the iconic horror trilogy with a dark and gritty noir thriller. Mia Goth is a star. No. Okay, let's see. Do we have anybody bigger? Here we go. William Biviani. I love this dude. Phenomenal. A trip back to the seedier side of a decade that has been sanitized within an inch of its life by condescending corporate exploitation. Guy at the movies, Jeff says, Maxine doesn't have the commanding intensity of its two predecessors, operating better on a conclusion to a captivating character arc than a particularly immersive film. Still a solid little 3 out of 5. Perry Nemiroff, I respect this woman so much. Just like the first two films, Maxine is powered by assured directing from Ti West and reverence for cinema. Mia Goth also continues to deliver exquisite work. It doesn't take long for her to take your breath away with her performance in this one. Here is a negative review. If Maxine stopped basking in its own self-congratulatory cleverness for a moment, it might have had a decent film in there somewhere. IndieWire says it delivers some of the series' most extreme kills as well as its best use of glittery costumes. Wow, I was not expecting to read this today. Glittery costumes, bloody testicles, and feminist subversion for a whirlwind joyride that doubles as a societal lambasting. And Peter Bradshaw from Guardian says director Ti West goes 3 for 3, serving up a horribly watchable new episode of his outrageous black comedy franchise of aspirational horror porn, this time set in Hollywood's 1980s. Screen International says even worse. The film's expected gross out violence is subpar, rarely offering the liberating rebuke to the era's uptight hand-wringing. So, there's a little look at some of the reviews. They say it's great. Some people are saying it's just a little too full of itself. So, this film is said to be looking at a modest little opening here. Taking a look at what it is supposed to do. This movie is made on a budget of probably about, $3-4 million? Let me pull this up here really quick. The budget for Maxine looks like it doesn't quite say. It does not say. But I'm going to guess anywhere between a good $5 to $10 million because these films are not expensive to make. They're not expensive to make whatsoever. And that's good for them. That's good for A24, and it's good for Ti West. Because if you can make these films phenomenally low budget, then you have a good shot at turning a profit and potentially doing more movies with the studio. What is the box office projections? The box office projections are... it's not going to tell me, is it? That would just make a lot of sense. Okay. If I had to guess, it's going to open between... If I had to guess, it's going to open anywhere between a good $3 to $5 million. Because looking at what X did, X opened to $4 million. It opened up $4 million on a $1 million budget. So there you've already gotten your budget back. You've already made your production budget back. You've already made back all of your production costs, all of your advertising buzz, or all of your advertising budget. $4 million rounding out on a worldwide gross of $15 million. $2 million in Blu-ray and home video sales. Take a look at what Pearl did. Pearl had the same budget of $1 million, I believe. I could be 100% wrong, but I'm just going with it. What Pearl did. Pearl in 2022 opened with, good on here, it opened with $3 million. So not a great opening, really not a great opening, but for a movie like this, that one, you opened up against The Woman King, didn't do great at the box office either, and See How They Run didn't do all that well either, but it was in more of like a limited release of 2,400 theaters. Yes, it's limited, but with opening weekend, $3 million, they wasn't going to make a whole ton of money anyways. And to say that Pearl was a bomb, that's not really fair. That's not really fair at all, because if you look at something like X movie budget, if you look at the budget for X, it's $1 million. $1 million. If you look at the budget for Pearl, the Pearl budget was also $1 million and grossed $10.1 million. So I think this could do a really good $3 to $5 million opening if people remember the X franchise. If you're a fan, you're obviously going to be there on opening night or opening weekend. You will be there. You will give it your money. Generic moviegoers, they won't go and see it. They will not go and see it. Even though people want original cinema, they don't go and support original cinema, original horror, A24, unless it's like a Everything Everywhere All at Once, or unless it's like a Civil War. Then they'll go and support it. But Maxine reviews are looking to be great. I think it's going to do modestly well at the box office. It's not going to do 20, 30 million by any means, but the marketing budget is definitely higher because I've seen more trailers, I've seen more ads on TV and on YouTube all around the internet than I have than I did for X or for Pearl. So there's my thoughts on that. What do you think about Maxine coming out? Are you excited for Maxine, and are you excited that it's getting good reviews?